Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a lovely week so far. I hope you're all healthy, strong, optimistic, and I hope you're enjoying life. Welcome Aryan Hayamu, hi Bakrat. Hi, Abibuyev. Good to see many students joining in on this IELTS listening class. That's right, everyone. Today we are doing IELTS listening part 1 and 2 for that Band 9 goal. That's our aim. Absolutely. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Join us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of those websites have lots and lots of materials. We're going to be using these today for our listening audio. This is our academic IELTS website here. You can click this big red button to join the premium package. When you do, you will have a My Student account where you will have computer-based practice exams. You will have a full online course, lesson videos, exams, study plans, and audio CDs. And we're going to use these audio CDs in a moment to get going on the listening. In general IELTS, it's the same idea. It's the green background. You can click this big red button to join us there. Hi, Paulo. Hi, Laura. Good to see everyone. Hi, Huli Kim. Nice to see many students joining in on this listening session for the IELTS exam. All right, going back to our syllabus for the day. Use our apps, Academic IELTS Help and our General IELTS Help app from your Android and Apple app stores. You can also follow us on Instagram for our live class schedules and lots of help. We've been putting practice cue card for speaking part 2 cue cards up there. IELTS_AE Help for Instagram and GIELTS Help for Instagram, okay? One's for academic, the other's for general. If you have questions, comments, concerns, just send me an email. My email is adrian@aehelp.com, okay? So you can email me there. We will be doing more of those speaking sessions that some of you just saw 30, 40 minutes ago where we're actually talking to our students and you're hearing them. And if you want to participate in that, send me an email. So if you want to participate in live speaking sessions in these classes, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I will send you instructions on what you need to do so you can participate and speak with me in these live classes, okay? All right, everyone. So we've got more classes this week. Tomorrow we'll have more listening as well. We'll have reading for members, and then we'll have some Q&A and speaking part 2 on Saturday as well, okay? All right, everyone. Today we are looking at our third test for listening. You'll see that in your curriculum book, this is labeled as test 2, but in fact it's test 3. It's on CD3 track 1 if you have access to our course. And I'm going to play the audio for this in just a moment. So use a headset like what I'm doing right now to listen to the audio. It works best. And then we will answer the questions together after, okay? So here we go, everyone. We're going to start with section 1. In fact, these days it's called part 1, okay? So they've changed this recently to part 1. Students, don't put your answers into the chat because then other students will get confused, especially if you're giving wrong answers. So save your answers till the end. Now, at the beginning, you're going to hear some instructions, and that's what happens in the real IELTS too, okay? So in the beginning, you hear about 1 minute of instructions, and let me give you some really good advice or strategy there, okay? So this is a really, really good strategy, okay? So during the 1 minute instruction time, look at the topic of all, or the topics of all four speaking parts, so that your brain can start thinking about these. Okay? All right. So that's what we're going to do, okay? So during the 1 minute instruction time, and then as soon as the instructions are over, you want to come back and start reviewing the questions for part 1 so that you can really get going on it, okay? All right, now, if you're having trouble with the audio, let me know in the chat. If it's working on my end, it should work on your end just fine, but do let me know so that I can take a look at that, okay? All right, everyone, so let me hop back here to our website, and we're going to get into our listening. I'm going to start the audio right now, so start listening, and then just follow with me. We will go through the answers together at the end, okay? All right, here we go, everyone, with listening part 1.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 women as one of the women registers her daughter for nursery school. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon, Monterey Primary, Jane speaking.
Hello, my name is Diane Johnson. I was hoping to register my daughter for nursery school at Monterey Primary.
Of course, Miss Johnson. Would you like to register your daughter for full-day nursery school, or half-day, or full-day plus after-school care?
Oh, just the half day. I don't think Matilda could handle a full day away from home just yet.
The woman says she would like to register her daughter for half-day nursery school, so A has been indicated for you. Now we begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon, Monterey Primary, Jane speaking.
Hello, my name is Diane Johnson. I was hoping to register my daughter for nursery school at Monterey Primary.
Of course, Miss Johnson. Would you like to register your daughter for full-day nursery school, or half-day, or full-day plus after-school care?
Oh, just the half day. I don't think Matilda could handle a full day away from home just yet.
So your daughter's name is Matilda Johnson?
Yes, let me spell it for you. The first name is Matilda, Matilda, and the last name is Johnson, but it's not the common spelling. It's spelt Jonson. My husband is Swedish, which explains the different spelling.
Right. And what is Matilda's date of birth?
She was born December 25th, 2006.
So she was born at Christmas. That is incredible.
Yes, she was an incredible present to get for Christmas. It certainly was the most memorable Christmas I've had.
Yes, I would imagine. Okay, so now I need Matilda's personal education number, which she should have received in the post recently.
I don't remember receiving such a letter in the post.
It would have come from the Department of Education, and they always post things in yellow envelopes. You don't remember seeing a yellow envelope in the post?
In fact, I do, but I didn't open it. My husband did. He didn't mention anything about a personal education number. Now he's away with work and I won't be able to reach him.
Well, we can retrieve the number. I'm going to need your national insurance number as well as your husband's. I'm going to need your husband's name as well.
My husband's name is Eric, with a K instead of a C on the end. His last name is Johnson, of course. His national insurance number is DF987745W, and mine is KL409115N.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
Okay, students, let's review these questions. We've got a little bit of time.
Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Right. Okay, let me see here. Alright, here is a personal education number. I will give it to you now so that you can write it down for future reference. It is T56340192.
Just to make sure, the first character is T as in Thomas.
Yes, and this letter in front of the number shows what region the child is originally from. The T in this case refers to Tyne and Wear.
That would be correct, I'd imagine. Matilda was born in Newcastle, which of course is in Tyne and Wear.
Okay, so we have all the information about Matilda that we need. She is now registered for half-day nursery school in September. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I was wondering what sort of training your nursery school teachers have.
That is a very good question. Each of our teachers has, at a minimum, a 2-year diploma in early childhood education. Many of our senior staff have bachelor's degrees in education, in addition to the 2-year diploma. And our departmental head, Miss Janet Roth, has a postgraduate certificate, bachelor's degree and diploma. Do not worry, Miss Johnson, your daughter Matilda is in very good hands.
That makes me feel a lot better. Can you tell me when the first day of school is? And also, will there be an orientation day for new students and parents?
The first day of class is the 5th of September, and yes, we do have an orientation day. It takes place on the 3rd of September from 9 to midday. Parents and children are strongly encouraged to attend.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and in that half minute, you want to check your answers. Let me just stop the audio here on our website. We'll do part 2 in a little bit, but first we'll go through part 1, the answers together. Okay, so hopefully everybody was able to hear that nice and clear. If not, let me know. We'll look at the answers together and we'll discuss them. Before we look at all of the answers in great detail, let me ask you what the topics were for these different parts. So remember what I said at the beginning. You have this 1 minute instruction time. And during this 1 minute instruction time, you want to look at all the topics of part 4, so your brain can get going on these, okay? So part 1, which we just did, clearly that was registering for nursery school. Okay. What is part 2 going to be about? So I guess that some of you probably looked at that and you're like, okay, yeah, I saw what that was. Okay. So what will part 2 be about? Amu and Jack says it will be something about a university. Yeah, absolutely. So, Habibulev, yeah, you're allowed to look at the other parts topics when the instructions are going. Okay, I did the computer-based IELTS practice exam not so long ago, and I did that, and it was really helpful. So part 2 will be about a university tour. Okay, part 3 will be about Aku Hamad. If you can't see the writing, change to 720p. Okay. Carolina says maybe Egyptians. Yeah, it will be more about taxes. That's why I was highlighting that. So that's right, Arda. That's right, Mian. It will be about taxes. Okay, very good, Andre. I am. Okay, and then part 4 will be about Isaac Newton. Yeah, the famous scientist Isaac Newton. Very good. Okay, so we have an idea now that we're going to be talking, about a university tour, taxes, Isaac Newton. My brain is starting to visualize this, starting to formulate some ideas, okay? So my brain is now able to predict, visualize, and come up with English words around these topics. Okay, great. That's why you want to do that, all right? That's the idea behind that strategy. Okay, so let's look at the questions together now. All right, here we go. So you had this example here, but be careful because since 2020, you do not have examples, okay? So since 2020, you do not have examples for the listening section. So if you're using materials that are before 2020, and lots of them are very good, just keep in mind that you don't have this example going forward, okay? That's important to keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. The first question, what is the woman's husband's nationality? Okay, so they talk a little bit about names. They talk a little bit about spelling of names. What's the nationality? Mian says the man is Swedish. A lot of people agree. Part 1 should be fairly easy. Indeed, the man is Swedish. That's the correct answer. So yes. B, okay? So in your answer sheet, make sure that you're putting B, okay? B as the answer. That's all you need to put is the big B, all right? In the computer-based exam, it's just going to be a little checkbox. You just click on it, and it'll go boop, and it'll check that off, okay? All right, next question. How is a child's personal education number normally received? Now, you don't hear questions, right? You hear the people say answers, so you're always listening for statements, okay? So in this case, the woman says, I usually send the education number by, yeah, and a lot of you are saying A, Paulo, very good. Habibul, yeah, very good. Justin, yeah, post. You have to make sure that you put the letter. So she says post, yeah. I usually send it by post. And they kind of repeat it a couple times, so if you miss it the first time, don't freak out. Don't be like, I missed it. What was it? Ah! Just be patient, okay? They repeat it. And I think she says it like 3 times. She's like, you didn't see a letter in the post, by the way, did you? I usually post a little yellow envelope. It's like post, post, post. So listen for that repetitive information and don't freak out, okay? Okay, so if you think you missed hearing it the first time, don't have a freak out, all right? They often repeat the answer, especially for part 1 and even in part 2. Not so much in part 3 and part 4. Those are more challenging, but part 1 and part 2 for sure. Okay, so the correct answer here is by post, all right? And so you put the letter A into your answer sheet, okay? All right, people, yeah, it's just I have an eccentric attitude. I like to be dynamic. All right, so the next question, question 3, choose the correct letter. We're still on to multiple choice. You're always listening for the answer, okay? Don't just stare at the answers. So don't stare at the answers, hoping the right one jumps out. Instead, focus on the question and listen for the answer. Okay, so why is the husband out of town? This one comes a little bit faster, and the answer's B. So really good, Paulo. Really good, Hoang Yuan Tai. Very nice, Habibuyev. Fatima, you have the right answer. Just make sure that you put the letter, not the word, right? Don't make silly mistakes. So just make sure in the answer key, if you're doing the paper-based, you put B, work. Okay, so the answer there is work. All right, and then here for number 4, it's only one question, so you're only getting 1 point, but you have to choose 3 pieces. Okay, so really pay attention to those uppercase letters. They're emphasizing it's 3 pieces of information. So what 3 pieces of information are required to retrieve the child's personal number? For this type of question, take notes. And you can do this in the computer-based exam because you have a piece of paper, so you can take notes. Okay, and you should take notes like man's, woman's, national insurance number. Which one is that one? Nope. That one. So use symbols. Notice how I didn't write the word number. This is the symbol for number. When you're taking notes, try to use symbols whenever you can. So the woman's and the man's national insurance number. Okay. And the names. Right? So the correct answer here would be C, D, and F. Okay. Why not E? So why not this one? Okay, and I see that a lot of you got that. So a lot of you got C, D, and F. Okay. So why not E? Why wouldn't this administrator need the woman's name? Yeah, Fatima, very good. So Fatima says, because it's already given. Yeah, because she already gave this. That's right, Fatima. Very good. Nicely done. Okay, why not A and B? Yeah, Gilbert, if you get one of the 3 wrong, you'll lose the whole mark. Absolutely. Okay. Why not this one? So why not the woman's personal insurance number? Why not the husband's personal insurance number? Here, of course, you have to think about what is the personal insurance number. So what is a personal insurance number? Why would a school not need your personal insurance number? Okay. Nivsky, it's not included in the national insurance number. Your personal insurance is different. Yeah, Andre says because it's personal. Yeah, that's probably a good answer, Andre. Absolutely. Because it's personal and nobody other than your insurance company, okay, needs your personal insurance number. Okay, so only your insurance company. Personal insurance means like it's like your health or life insurance or house insurance. Okay, that's what a personal insurance number is. The school's not going to ask you for your house insurance number to register your child. So, of course, the other important strategy for this type of multiple choice question where you have several answers is use logic. Okay, just think logically, and you will realize that several options are not possible, do not make sense. Okay, so in this case, if you really think logically, then you can actually figure out that the only right answers here are the woman's, the husband's national insurance number, and the husband's name. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So then, of course, the woman starts to spell the husband's name. And so how is the husband's name spelled? Is it spelled Eric, E-R-I-C-K? Is it spelled Eric, E-R-I-C, or Eric, E-R-I-K? Okay. Mal, Sakshi, Arda, Hamta are all saying it's spelled Eric with a K, and that is correct. Okay, so the woman actually says this. She says it is spelled it is spelled Eric with a K at the end instead of a C because he is Swedish. Okay. Yeah. So that's what she says. The key word here was instead. Okay, you really had to kind of pay attention to that word instead to get it right. I don't think you can read that too well. Let's choose a different color. So yeah, so there we go, instead. So K instead of a C. So you have to really pay attention to these kinds of words like instead, okay? All right, dictation, super important. Question number 6, what is Matilda? So you had a little break here, of course, and then you had this question. What is Matilda's personal education number? A, T563409192. B, P563409192. Or C, T5-6P40192. And I've got a lot of A's coming up. Paulo, Layla, very good. Habibuliev, 6 is A, if I'm not mistaken. Habibuliev, be confident, especially in multiple choice. Yeah, T563409192. There's no letter, okay, and it's a T and not a P. So for all of you who answered A, give yourselves a pat on the shoulder. You've done a good job. Listen to dictation, okay? All right. On our website, students, so let me just show you this super fast, okay, before we look at some of these other questions. So on our website, in the audio, so this is at ahelp.com, you've got lots of help for this. So you've got like the alphabet, and you've got numbers. Here, let me play this for you so you can listen. This is a British person because, of course, the test is British. So this is aehelp.com, okay? And listen to these kinds of audios. They're at the end. So here's numbers.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
19,
20,
20,
30,
30,
40,
40,
50,
50,
60,
60,
70,
70,
80,
80,
90,
90,
100,
100,
1000,
1000,
10,000,
10,000,
100,000,
100,000,
1 million,
1 million,
1 billion.
1 billion. Okay, so practice like that, students. Okay, so practice those numbers when you have a chance. Again, those are on the website. There's also metric system, days of the week, days of the month. So there's lots and lots of help there for your listening and for your speaking to learn the correct pronunciation for those numbers and kind of sharpen your ears to get those correct. Okay. All right, let's go back to these last couple questions here and do them together. Okay, where was the child born? Was it A, Newcastle, B, London, or C, Monterey? I see that a lot of people were already giving some answers for that. Moo says 7 was A. Layla says that was A. Yeah, so it was Newcastle. And it's even related to the question 6 where the woman says Tyne and Weir, I believe. So Newcastle, yeah. A. And she says that this first letter in the education number, the T, denotes the location, Tyne and Weir, which is in Newcastle. Okay, so that is explained. Okay, and then we have, again, this multiple choice. So the question here was, what 2 qualifications do many of the nursery school senior staff have? So you had to figure that out, again, taking notes using logic, right? What were the correct answers? So you had 6 choices, you needed just 2. Paulo says they were B and E, a 2-year diploma and a bachelor's degree. Very good, yeah, so that's what it was. It's a 2-year diploma and a bachelor's degree, so that's what they talk about. Bonus question time. Bonus question. What education level does the school director have? Okay, and when you're doing listening at home, you should practice this kind of bonus question time, especially with partners. It's a really good way to improve your active reading. So what kind of qualification does the director? Is it a master's degree or is it a... yeah, no, it's A. Jyoti says it's F. It's a doctorate degree. Yeah, it's a doctorate degree. So the director has a PhD in education, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Some of them has a master's degree, but I believe she has a doctorate degree. Okay, if I remember correctly. If I'm mistaken, I'll have to check. Okay. All right. So somebody's asking, can you replay that part? Yeah. So I can. When you go to the website, you can replay chunks of the audio. Here, let's listen to it, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a master's. Maybe it's a doctorate degree. Okay.
This recording is copyrighted.
Okay, so we have your daughter Matilda is in very good hands.
That makes me feel a lot.
Matilda that we need. She is now registered for half-day nursery school in September. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I was wondering what sort of training your nursery school teachers have.
That is a very good question. Each of our teachers has, at a minimum, a 2-year diploma in early childhood education. Many of our senior staff have bachelor's degrees in education in addition to the 2-year diploma. And our departmental head, Miss Janet Roth, has a postgraduate certificate, bachelor's degree and diploma. Do not worry, Miss Johnson, your daughter Matilda is in very good hands.
That makes me feel a lot better. Can you tell me when the first day of school is?
All right, so we don't actually, we find out. It could be D, it could be F.
The first day of class is the 5th of September.
Okay.
And yes, we do have an
Let me
orientation
stop
day.
that audio.
It takes place on the 3rd of...
Okay, yeah, so she has a postgraduate degree. So the best answer here would have been a postgraduate degree. Okay, so it could be a master's degree, it could be a doctorate degree. We don't know that, but she has a postgraduate degree, which could be either D or it could be F. It could be both. It's not neither, Mel. It's actually one or the other or both. Okay, so we don't know, but it's a postgraduate degree. Postgraduate degree could be a master's or a doctorate. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the last couple of questions. So these were questions 9 and 10. Yeah, Jack, it could be either or both, all right? So these were complete the notes below, write no more than 2 words and or a number. Always really pay attention to that kind of instruction. When's the first day of class? Okay, Mamta says it's the 5th of September. Layla agrees. And definitely don't misspell September because you have September right here. Okay. So all I would do for a correct answer here on the IELTS is Sept 5, like that. Okay, that's your easiest and fastest correct answer. Okay, so the easiest and fastest correct answer. Okay, they'll take other answers. So they'll take answers like September 5th, okay, or they'll take Sept 5th, or they'll take Sept 5. Okay, so they'll take all of those answers, but the one where you're definitely going to get it correct and it's going to be quick is just like that, Sept 5. Okay, yeah, Justin Kaur, abbreviations are absolutely allowed. Okay, all right. So orientation day is a little bit before, of course. It's on the 3rd of September. Orientation hours are 9 to midday. Midday is either hyphenated or one word. Okay, midday. And number 10, we've got a missing word here. Someone and children should attend orientation. So we've got children. It makes sense that the answer here is parents. Very good, Mamta. Very good, Shakshi. Very good, Faishul. Very nice. All right. Ida, Marco, what do you think? All right, so parents. Okay. Here, this S is super important. Okay. So you have to have that S. If you don't have that S there, okay, let's use a different color because you're going to think I mean don't use it. But no, you need it. Okay, so you need it. Let's use that. Okay, so parents, why? Because children is plural. Children's plural, parents has to be plural as well. And they say parents. So, yeah, Moonlight, if you have a capital P, that's fine. If you don't have a capital P, you're still going to get that mark, okay? It's considered a common noun, so if you put parents with a small p in the answer sheet, it will still be accepted, right? They're not going to ping you for that. Okay, everyone. So now we're going to go to speaking part 2. By the way, for speaking part 1, your goal should always be a 9 or a 10. All right? Just because it's the easiest part, so you don't want to lose marks in part 1. Okay, you need to get a 9 or a 10 in part 1. Absolutely. All right. So now we're going to go to part 2. And you want to do exactly what you did for part 1. So listen carefully. Answer the questions while you listen. Don't put them in the chat. We will share the answers together. So let's hop back to the website here for a few more moments. Right, here we go. And we are going on to CD3 track 2 for listening. So everybody get ready for listening part 2. Here we go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a university campus tour. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you are here for the university campus tour, you are in the correct place. There are two purposes for this tour. For prospective students, you get to see the campus where you may be studying in a few months, and you get to learn some interesting information which may convince you to look favourably on our university. For parents, you get to learn what life is like at this university, so you know where you are sending your kids off to this autumn. Before we start the tour, I'd like to give you some background information. This university was originally opened in 1686, although from 1745 to 1805 it was shut down due to a lack of funding. The university is composed of 23 buildings which were built in one of three periods. There were 4 original buildings in 1686, a dozen more buildings were constructed in the period from 1805 to 1815, and the final 7 buildings have been added in the past 10 years. So there is a fascinating mix of 17th century, 19th century and quite modern architecture. The first building we are going to look at is called the Prescott Building, named after the university's first Chancellor, William Chester Prescott. As you can probably tell, this is one of the university's original buildings completed in 1686. The building is actually quite unique in shape. It is approximately 40 metres long while only 8 metres wide. It also has these interesting circular areas attached to each corner, 4 of them in all. These 4 circular areas each house a large bell. None of the bells work today, however. As we walk in the door, I'd like to point out all of the beautiful Persian carpets on the floor. These carpets were donated to the university by a former student almost 150 years ago. It is very common for former students who have done well in life to give back to the university. Some give money, some give land, some give gifts such as Persian carpets. One former student even gave the university his pub after he died. By the way, that pub, which is located at the intersection of 3rd Street and Pine Avenue, gives students of the university a 30% discount. Now, if that's not a selling point for this university, I don't know what is. On a serious note, it is our outstanding education which makes our university a top competitor on the global front.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20.
Always use that time to review these questions, so let's look at 17 to 20.
Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Before we go any further, are there any questions? No? Right then. Next we are going to visit the university library. As you see in front of the library, there is a beautiful fountain which shoots water high up in the air. Once again, the funding for the fountain came from a former student, in this case a well-known artist. It was constructed just 15 years ago at the cost of £50,000. As we step into the library, I think what you'll notice at first is the fact there are no books. Indeed, there are no books at all on the entire ground floor. On the 5 upper floors, however, there are over 3 million books. The library's collection has been built over time through private donations, gifts from former students, as well as university purchases. There is also a special collections area where there are original works dating back to the year 1588. Next on our itinerary is a visit to the sporting facilities. Here at the university we have over a dozen different facilities for almost any sport you can imagine, ranging from football and rugby to tennis and squash to archery and cricket. Our rugby team has won the national championship 3 out of the last 5 years. As you'll see on your left is a famous wall where we put pictures of.
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and check your answers in that half minute. Now, I did something a little bit special here. As many of you saw, what I did is I highlighted parts of the question sheet to kind of show you the pacing of the information and how it is presented. Okay, so of course you don't have that kind of help in the real IELTS exam, but that's good to do when you're listening. So when you're doing listening practice at home, you can do the same thing. So go through the listening and kind of highlight the information as you hear it so that you can train your mind and your eye to coordinate and feel the pacing, the timing of the answers. Okay, did everybody catch that? So that was another kind of strategy here. Let me write this strategy up for you, okay? So this is a second strategy for today that you can practice at home, what I just did here for you, okay? And it's very helpful. It will really help with your pacing so that you can feel how the answers are coming, okay? So when you practice your listening at home, and you should be able to do this with PDFs using Adobe Reader as well. Okay, so when you practice your listening at home, highlight the information in your question booklet as you hear it so that you can train your eyes and brain to actively listen and get a feel for the pacing and style of the speaker and answers. Okay, so do that. All right, everybody's got it. Navdeep says, woohoo! Right on. Okay, so you definitely want to do that. Okay, let's go through the answers together for this listening. All right. Okay. Scutie and Ruth also are like, whoa. All right. Okay. So let's look at the answers together now. Here we go. Back to the beginning of this part 2. Here we go. So it's a university campus tour, everybody. All right. So again, it's not section 2. You're going to hear it's part 2. They changed that last year. Okay, 11 to 13, you have to complete the table below. Write no more than 2 words. And remember, university opened. They actually repeat this answer twice, so they give this number twice. Faisal, Shakshi, Fatima, Bakra, Rashika all agree that the university opened in 1686. 1686. I don't know why I'm singing the answers. It just makes me feel good. It's morning time for me, and I guess I'm still in a great and happy mood. My day has not been crushed by any negative events yet. All right, so university opened in 1686. Very good. Notice how in English it's 1686. Oftentimes years, 4 digits. We rarely will ever say 1686. You just never hear people saying that. You will always hear people saying 1686. So first 2 digits, last 2 digits. Okay. All right, and then in this table, you should be really paying attention to the given information, like 1745 to 1805, okay? And then the speaker says there's 23 buildings in all. From 1805 to 1815, there were something buildings constructed. How many buildings were constructed in these 10 years? So 1805 to 1815. 23 buildings was the total number, so that's wrong if you gave that answer. Harwinder says it's 12. Yeah, so they say a dozen. Dozen buildings were constructed. Dozen buildings is 12. So 12 is your easiest answer, okay? Dozen would be correct as well, but dozen's just a little bit slower to write. More spelling mistake opportunities. So 12. Okay, question 12, the answer is 12. Okay, and for that previous one, it was 1686. So 12 was the right answer. Good for you, Navdeep, for getting a dozen. Okay, dozen answers. In the past, something, 7 buildings were constructed. So here you had to listen for this 7 buildings. In the past, Dui Un, very good, Mien, very good, Jack, very good. Jack, use the number, it's easier. So in the listening section, just use the number, 10. Okay, in the last 10 years, 7 more buildings. The university is booming. That's a good sign. If the university is creating new buildings, it's probably doing well. It's probably got some good programs. And for those of you that are planning to study abroad, by the way, that's one aspect that I would look at, is how much the university is investing in development. It's a good sign of how good your school is. Okay, and then they talk about the Prescott building, and this is where you hear this 1686. So the guy says, well, in 1686, the first building was the Prescott building, named after the first chancellor of the university, William Prescott, I think his name was. And the correct answer here, how does this building look? Is it A, is it B, is it C? Fatima says it's B because they said there's circles in the corner. Yeah, and they also said that it's really long and it's not very wide. So they said it's like 50 feet by 8 feet. So it's got this really long rectangular shape. So if you got B, you got it correct. Good for you. Good for everybody that chose B there. Yeah. Wonderlust Lavish says B. Wanderlust just one time in the IELTS, okay? Yeah, Abu, you can absolutely write 12 instead of 12 or instead of dozen for question 12. In fact, I recommend it. It's easier. Huang Yuan says it's a 40 by 8 building. These would not be correct. That's right, Huang. Very nice. All right, everyone. So now we hop on to question 15. Question 15, write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. How many years ago were the Persian carpets donated? Mien, Abdesh says 150. Yeah, it was 150. And all you need is the number. Okay? Because you have years ago in the question. So all you need is one number. Okay? It says no more than 2. But really, you just need 150. All right, next question. What discount do students receive at the local pub? So how much of a discount, how much of a coupon, if you will, do they get from their drinks? 30%, 40%, 3%, A, B, or C? Paulo says it's A. Fatima says it's A. Everybody says it's A. I agree, it's A. Okay. So the correct answer was 30%. Always put the letter. Don't put 30% in your answer sheet if you're doing the paper base because you'll get it wrong, okay? So it's a 30% discount. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, 17 to 20, we had to complete the summary. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. In front of the library, there is a beautiful what? There's a beautiful what? Anjali says there's a beautiful fountain. Yeah, watch your spelling. Fountain is correct. And again, you probably saw that I helped you with the pacing here. Inside the library, the ground floor has how many books? Ruth says no books. Yeah, probably because of water damage and such, right? So they said no books. You can use all capitals, by the way, as well. If you're doing all capitals, make sure all of your answers are all capitals. Okay? The upper floors, however, house over 3 million books. The collection was built by donations, gifts, and purchases. Additionally, there is a something area with works dating back to 1588. Always read in full sentences, okay? Here you needed 2 words. It was a tricky one. It has to be plural. It was special collections area. You need all of this. If you just wrote special collection with no S, you would get it wrong. So here, you needed this S on the end to get it correct, okay? And then we had one more here. So there are many sporting facilities, including the rugby field, which is home to the rugby team, which has won 3 of the 5 what? What has their rugby team won? They haven't won the years, that's for sure. Jack William and Armand says national championships. Arda agrees. Yeah, it's the national championships. Now, this is where capitalization is tricky because we don't know if it's the name of the championships or if it's just simply national championships. I would give it to you both ways in the IELTS, but to be sure, I would probably go capitals on that one. Okay, so national championships. How did you do, everybody? So what did you get as your score? Hopefully you got at least 16 or more, okay? So part 1 plus part 2 should equal a score of 16 or more or greater, okay? To get a good band score. All right. Okay. So Mumta, 16 is pretty good. Thumbs up. Bakra, 15. You got to work a little bit. 16 is the minimum. Niyen, 16 is the minimum. Habib Bouliyev, 18's on the right track. Absolutely. Gilbert, yeah, 14. Sad face. Yeah, a little bit of studying. Okay. Quantran, 13. Yeah, you don't want to be losing 7 marks because guess what, everyone? We've got part 3 and part 4 tomorrow at this time, and they're going to be a bit more challenging, so it's easier to lose more scores there, okay? So we will do part 3, part 4 tomorrow, and then we'll look at the total score together, okay? So that's it for listening part 1 and part 2. Again, you can find these on our website. So our websites for listening, there's 6 original practice exams. It's aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com, okay? So make sure to check that out. This was aehelp.com here, our academic IELTS help channel with all of our audio and everything else. To join here, all you really need to do is click this ginormous red button, the Join Now, one-time payment, lifetime access, doesn't cost much at all. We probably give the most help for the least amount of money for IELTS in the world. That's actual professional help, and we're proud of that. Okay, General IELTS is the same idea, green background, click that button. Of course, you get apps in that too, so you can use it on your mobile. The page is super responsive, so you can use the website on your mobile as well. That's it for today, everyone. I will be back tomorrow with listening part 3 and 4. I hope you enjoyed this class. I sure enjoyed hanging out with you. You're very welcome, Saman. You're very welcome, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.